to harness the power of Meta AI. Shop now at meta.com/smartglasses.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Bachelor Happy Hour. I'm Joe.
And I'm Serena.
And we are here with Pascal. Pascal, welcome to Bachelor Happy Hour. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm feeling very good. Thank you.
Feeling good? How's life in, I'm from Chicago.
Which part of Chicago are you from?
So I'm from a town called Melrose Park.
Okay, I know where's Melrose Park. Yeah. I live downtown Chicago in Lincoln Park, but my businesses were in downtown on Glenview and Glencoe and Bucktown. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How you like Lincoln Park?
I love Lincoln Park. I love the fact that I'm about 5 minutes away from the heart of downtown, but I have the peace and quiet of the suburbs. So Lincoln Park is a great place to live. Yeah.
I like that area too. That's my favorite area.
Are you from Chicago too?
Am I from Chicago too? No, I'm from Toronto, Canada. But when Joe and I got together, he was living in Chicago. He was in the West Loop. So we spent quite a bit of time there. Yeah,
the West Loop. Did you see what happened with the West Loop? I mean, it's booming. Yep. Restaurant, nightclub. I mean, it's just crazy. Unbelievable. Yeah.
I remember when it was just the meatpacking district.
Exactly. Dangerous to get there. You'd be a couple places to go, and the rest was like, wow, what's going on? You've seen what happened with it now. It's mind-boggling.
Yep.
How long have you been in Chicago for?
I've been in Chicago since 1980, so I've been there for quite a long time, almost 44 years.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. We have to when we're coming in town we live in New York, but we're coming in town for Thanksgiving. We have to come to your salon.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I'd love to take you out for dinner and show you a little bit. Chicago, but I would love to take you out for dinner if you're in town. It'd be fun to show you a little bit my Chicago.
Do you have a favorite French restaurant in Chicago?
You know what? French is actually it's a passé food now. It's not really what's selling. It's more like a Greek fusion, Middle Eastern. That's what the trend is. I mean, there is a couple of restaurants open. Actually, one is Obélix, which is
by
the
I'm familiar with that.
And then they open another one, which is La Grande Boucherie, which is a French restaurant. And obviously, Mon Ami Gabi, which is a classic who's been there for years. But it seems like now it's more like a fusion, like Greek fusion, Middle Eastern. That's more what's selling in Chicago now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. How? Let's get into the show. How did you wind up on a show like The Golden Bachelorette?
So that was very interesting. I ended up a relationship of 3 years, and my daughter thought that would be a great bachelor. Okay, she said, Dad, I've seen the show. My daughter is very much into The Bachelor and all that stuff. And to be quite honest with you, I mean, I haven't really been watching the show, so it's not something I'm usually watch, but now I'm hooked up to it. So my daughter said, "Oh, you should be in The Bachelor. Your personality, your look, your lifestyle. They love you. They love you. They love you. I'm gonna apply for you." And then asking me tons of questions, and then all of a sudden she called me about 3 weeks later and said, "Dad, I hope you're not gonna be mad." I said, with my daughter, my older daughter, is always, "What did you do?" Okay. Yeah. And she said to me, "I signed you up for the Golden Bachelorette." I said, "What is the Golden Bachelorette?" I see billboard of The Bachelor, but I never really watched it. So I said, "Dad, you should do it. You should do it. You should do it." I said, "Natalie, let me look at the show. Let me see if it's something I want to do, and then we'll talk about it." So I come up the next day. I talked to my manager, Lisa, which you see a couple of minutes ago. And I said, "What do you think if I go in The Bachelor?" But I said, "Oh, Pascal, you definitely, that's up your alley." I said, "Okay." So I went home that night. I watched 3 episodes of The Golden Bachelorette until John exit. And I got the message. I understand the concept is one guy, 25 women, 25 women, one guy. So I said, "Okay, I got the concept." So I come back the next day. So my manager said, "So what are you going to do?" I said, "I don't know. I want to know who's going to be the Bachelorette because, I'm kind of picky kind of guy,
fair.
I have my plans." So I said, she said, "There is anyone you like in the show?" I said, "Yeah, there is a couple of women I'd be interested, but the rest, we know, So So the agent called me and said, so are you signing up? Are you signing up? And I said, no, I'm not signing up until I know who it is, because I don't want to go into the show and pretend to be something I'm not. So they finally called me a few weeks later after going through all the process of them. And they said to me, that's John. Are you in? I said, yes, I'm in. So that's how I ended up going into The Bachelor.
Nice. Who were the other women that you potentially would have been interested in?
The one with the gray hair, that pretty woman with the gray hair.
Oh, yes.
Edith.
Yeah. Edith. Yeah.
Yes, that she's attractive. I said, because I couldn't go into the show and just pretend. I don't need fame and glory. I have fame and glories. I just wanted to go there and see if there is a potential and the experience as well. I think it's quite of a, in my age to be able to do that. It's quite of a, I'm grateful,
What was dating life for you like before you went on the Golden Bachelorette?
Honestly,
yeah,
no problem. I have no problem. Dating has never been my problem. My problem is the wrong choice of woman, and there is a lot of alcohol involved, which I don't drink, and that's the biggest issue. I think the wrong choice of woman, but dating has never been a problem.
Okay.
Gotcha. What if you're going on a date in Chicago with a woman? What do you usually do?
I like good food, so I would go to a nice restaurant, and maybe on the second day, maybe go to a play, or a symphony, or maybe go to a jazz club, or I'm very wistful about dating. I think I utilize the city very well, so I have all my connection in some good restaurant and music. I like musical. I like I like concert. I just went to see Sebastian last week. So I'm always doing something. I book in advance.
Sebastian Maniscalco, the comedian.
Yeah, I just saw actually. I took one of the Bachelor with Miguel to the show. He was. I hosted him for a week, and I tried to show a little bit Chicago, and so we went to see Sebastian, and I took him to a bear game on the field. So it was kind of fun. It was a good time. Yeah.
How long have you always not drank alcohol?
I've never drank alcohol. I left the army in 1974. No, I left the army in 1979, something like that. And during my training in France, as you know, military is mandatory. You got to do it for 1 year before the age 21, unless you have a higher education. So when I was in the army, I drink, I smoke, and I was screwed up every day. And then when I left the army at 19 years old, I said, I'm done. And I haven't touched alcohol since I'm 19 years old. Not because I'm a recovery alcoholic, it's I choose not to. I like to be in control. I like to see my surrounding, and I don't need alcohol or drugs to get me where I am. I'm already on the high as it is, so if I was drinking or doing drugs, I'd be out of control. So, and I had a business at a very young age, and I was very responsible. I was committed to succeed, and you can't succeed when you party too much.
Yeah, it's fair.
It's probably why you're aging so well too. Alcohol said it's probably why you're aging so well also.
Thank you. And I walk into the gym and eat good food.
Yes, you take good care of yourself.
Yeah, I try. Your body's your temple, and you got to take care of it. What you give is what you get.
So let's go to that first night out of the limo. You step out of the limo. You see Joan for the first time in person. What's going through your mind in that moment?
It's interesting. I wasn't the first one stepping up of the limo. In the show, they showed me the first one. I was the fifth guy staying up in the limo. Mm-hmm. When I saw Joan, I found that she was very attractive, very well put together, wearing a beautiful dress. And I said, wow, I'm interested. She's got my attention. And I went and talked to her for a couple of minutes, introduced myself, and then I went to the mansion, and guys keep popping. And I said, whoa, okay, there's a lot of people in here, where do I stand? So when you have that group of people, you try to find a bit your peer who you feel comfortable with. So it was kind of interesting because we engaged a lot of conversation with everybody to try to find out the connection. And then I see them all going to the bar and start drinking and start getting loose. And I'm looking at, okay, who? I was trying to figure out a bit my surrounding. So it was interesting to see they come from different backgrounds. They come in different size, different shape, which is very interesting. So then Joan comes up, and then she starts talking to all of us. And then obviously they asked me to be the first one to take her out to talk to her, which I didn't want to because I felt like I didn't want to sound like the French aggressive kind of guy. I'm more passive than aggressive. Mm-hmm. And so I took John, and that was on Father's Day. So my son gave me a card I raised my son from the age as a single parent. So he gave me a card, and I read her the card, and I said to her, "And I have a lot of respect for you because I know that you were in the show and you left because of a family emergency. And that's really what attracted me to you, because you have strong family values, and that's important to me. And that's why I'm here. And, we have a nice little conversation." And then she went for another.
How did you feel a spark or a connection with her from that first conversation?
I think I felt definitely that what I found remarkable about her is she's very engaging. She was able to ask questions and engage a conversation. It was easy. Some people are very difficult, it's why yes, no, yeah, no. She was very engaging. I found that very attractive in a woman who could handle a conversation.
I can't wait to get dressed up for the holiday vibe this season.
Southern California on their first.
For many of us, the holiday, your own US-based com/iHeart.
On her, I think I spent 5 minutes. Second one-on-one dates, actually.
You get one of the first one-on-one dates early on in the season. How was that? Were you nervous about it? Were you excited?
I have the second one-on-one dates, actually, because I think Chuck had the first one. Chuck went to the Mouse, and then I went to Vegas. I think I was flattered because I didn't think I've made that big of an impact on her. I think I spent 5 minutes. I think Keith got the first impression rose. So, and I look at Keith and I look at me, and we're completely the opposite kind of guys. So I say, okay, so maybe I'm not going to be here that long, because if she like Keith, I'm gone about a couple of rows from here. I'm going back home. And then when she announced me that she wanted to go with me on a date, I was very excited, because that gave me the chance to get to know her and have a conversation on and off the camera. And then I had the overnight date, which is, I think I have the longest date with her, because we went to Vegas and, went to the Paris hotel. We had dinner, the Ferris wheel, and then we came back the next day together. So it was very interesting, because I got to know her a little bit more on a personal level. I was able to ask her a question about husband and how long he passed away, what was he doing, the children, and know a little bit about her life. So it's like peeling an onion. You peel the layers. So I felt like after our trip, we knew each other a little bit better, and I definitely felt like there was chemistry between us. I think she was attracted to me. I think she liked my personality, because I was trying to make her forgive everything and just enjoy the moment, versus talking about my past, which I had to do during the dinner to show a little bit where I come from. But it was kind of a fun night. It was like just getting into each other and just enjoying the evening. And then that's I felt comfortable with it.
Yeah, we saw you open up to her about your past, your childhood, how you grew up. How was it sharing that with her, and how do you feel like she received it?
It's not easy for me to open up. I think I'm pretty reserved. I'm very, I don't like people to know much about who I am, where I come from, because that's not something I share often with people. But I think I wanted her to know that I'm not just a designer kind of guy where, this wasn't given to me. I work for it, where I come from. I needed her to understand where I come from, where my childhood was. My parents didn't believe much in education, and you do something wrong, is the shoes, the belt, or the broom, and that's the way they control you. And, when I left France, I was very angry. I was upset. I hated my parents for who they were, and then, it took me many years to forgive them, because I understood where they come from. This is the way they were raised, so they raised me the way they were raised. But that marked me during my lifetime. That made me who I am. And so it was very hard for me to open up and share that with her. But I know I needed to do that because I didn't want her to have the impression that I'm the rich guy who come up from a golden spoon and I'm, it was important for me for her to know that life wasn't like that when I grew up, and I worked to build the lifestyle I have today.
So a self-made man like yourself who's worked really hard, and I'm assuming you have nice things in your life. What was it like living in a bunk bed with a bunch of guys?
So you know what? This is a very interesting question because first of all, I didn't, I might sound naive, okay? But when they said the mansion, and I've been to mansion in the past, okay?
Yeah.
Where there is a butler, where there is a housekeeper, where there is a maid, cook, and everything. So when they were talking a mansion, I thought the mansion was coming with a staff who was taking care of things for you, like cooking, cleaning, and stuff like that. And then I realized it was nothing like that. And I'm not really a domesticated kind of guy. I don't do much of show at home. I eat 99% of the time. I dine out, have a housekeeper who come a couple of times a week who take care of my apartment. Very rarely I go grocery. So, there's nothing in my fridge. My pots and pans still in the box for the last 12 years. So it was so. When I moved into the mansion and they give me the room, honestly, guys, I had an anxiety attack. I had a flashback of where I came from, and it was scary to me. I didn't show it, so I tried to fake it out by coming up with the clothes and the bullshit. But I had such an anxiety because I said, I'm back to where I come from, and I didn't know those guys. So I said, how am I going to handle that? And I never showed my fear because I didn't want them to see that, but it was difficult. And then I said, Pascal, you got to stick with the program. This is the way it is. Go with the flow. It's a short period of time. You'll get used to it and everything. And I'm worried about my laundry, my cooking, and I didn't want to sound like the prima donna, but so I asked guys if you could help me with the laundry. I asked Mark to help me with cooking. And he ended up being an incredible experience. I mean, it was just, if somebody said to me, would you do it again? I think it was an incredible experience for me, and it took my fear away from me. So now I know. I never been to camp. Okay. I never went to college. So I never had that community living besides my childhood where we're sleeping 8 in a room. So kind of interesting, but it was fun.
Nice. I'm glad that was a good experience for you. You mentioned, so like if for instance, if Joan likes Keith, how could she really be into you? You guys are so different, and so many of the guys were different in the house. When did you realize, because you do make it to the end, when do you realize that Joan favors you over majority of the men?
You know what, to be honest with you, I didn't know. I went with the flow. I mean, I think if you could see in one of the episodes, John said to me, do you want to be here? And I said, yes. I said, why? I said, because you're always in the back. You never push your way in front. I said, look, I'm not that kind of guy. I said, I know I'm going to have my 15 minutes with you. And with my 15 minutes, that's up to me to shine and show you the type of person I am. But I'm not the kind of guy who's going to push Keith and Chuck and guys to be in front of her. That's not my personality. And when I went to I was myself. I didn't pretend to be anything else. And she kept bringing me alone. And I think she liked my energy. I think, when I was with Joan, it was just having fun. I was just having a good time. And I think that's what she likes about me because, in the house, I've seen a lot of struggle. I've seen a lot of pain. I've seen a lot of anxiety from those men who lost their wife, who's still in love, who hasn't let go yet. I come into the house free like a man. I mean, I had an easy divorce. My ex-wife and I, best friend, we raised our kid with love. And so I haven't really, besides my childhood, I haven't really struggled through any of losing a loved one. I lost my parents, but so I was in a different place than most of those guys, and that's maybe what she liked about me, and I was be myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're also a well-dressed, handsome man. I mean, how could she not like you, you know?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You got it. So
I'm in the fashion industry. I got to, I own a plush salon. I have 4 locations. I got to be the face of my business.
yeah.
I can come up
Absolutely.
in the jean and what sometimes it's very funny, which I don't think is funny. When I grow up, we had hole in our jean because we couldn't afford the jeans. Okay, I mean we had holes everywhere. The jeans were tear down, and now tear down jean is fashion. They didn't know I was fashionable 40
True.
years
You're a
ago.
trendsetter, Pascal.
I didn't know that. It's so funny, but it's life is good. Life is good. You got to have a positive attitude. You got to live the moment. Don't focus so much on yesterday because there is nothing you can change. The only thing you could do is learn from your success and failure and apply it to the present. And tomorrow it's unknown. So just enjoy the time. And that's what I did when I went to the mansion. I enjoy my time.
We
That's
saw
good.
you made it all the way to hometowns. What did it mean to be able to bring Joan home, show her your business, and have your children be a part of this experience?
I never thought I would make it to hometown, to be honest with you. I was like, wow, okay, so I'm, I know that some of them were much more aggressive than I was. Some of them were really already said the word I'm in love. And I never said that to Joan. I care very much about her as a person. I'm trying to get to know her. So going home was quite an interesting experience. And I wanted my children to meet Joan and validate it and tell me what they think of us. And show you my business, a bit what I do. And, I'm in the feel good business. I'm in the business where people are happy. They don't, I'm not a divorce attorney where people are fighting with each other, or I'm not a criminal attorney. I'm in the feel good business. People come to me. They love being here. They live happy. So I'm fortunate and I was able to show her that. And as you could see, I'm very much loved by my team. They speak very highly about me. They have a lot of respect for me, and because I value the guy who sweep the floor to the girl who shampoo to the girl who's in charge of my salon. I treat them, all of them, with the same respect. It's not because you sweep the floor that you're less than the one who run my salon. So I think I have a different morals about how I treat my team, and so that was very good for me to bring her into my business, for her to meet my people and have a bit of feel of their feeling toward me as a person, and then bring her into my home. And that was fun. That was a lot of fun, actually.
I can't wait to get to setting the outfit vibe.
Mr. Seal's Southern California thinking.
Attendee features, like the padding up for their newsletter.
In your mind and how that went down?
I think to me,
You basically, you break it off with Joan because. Okay, so let's go to the moment in the tropical location where you have to, where you basically, you break it off with Joan because, you're just not in love with her. Can you take us back to that moment? What was going on in your mind and how that went down?
I think to me, the way I look at it is I didn't have enough time with her, and then she took me to something who freaked me out a little bit. I mean, I think to me,
you basically, you break it off with Joan because. Okay, so let's go to the moment in the tropical location where you have to, where you basically, you break it off with Joan because, you're just not in love with her. Can you take us back to that moment? What was going on in your mind and how that went down?
I think to me, the way I look at it is I didn't have enough time with her, and then she took me to something who freaked me out a little bit. I mean, I would have preferred going diving with the sharks, which I've done, or driving an UV to the mountain, which I love, which I race cars. She took me to a ceremony, which is in the island, is what they call a wedding, basically. And then I freaked out a little bit. I just felt like I went too fast, too quick. I felt very uncomfortable with the ceremony as much as I tried to have fun with the rooster and the this and the that. And I realized then, I just don't have what it takes to be able to give her what she's looking for. And I know then those two guys behind me were so much in love with her that I didn't want to waste her time on me, knowing that there is a couple guy behind me who are really, really much in love with her. And I said, it's time for me to exit. And there is not an easy way to say goodbye. I think it's painful. And she was hurt because she felt like she wasn't lovely. And I saw the show after her crying. I didn't know she had that much feeling for me. But the other time also, who freaked me out a little bit, not freaked me out, who really give me doubt and give me comfort for me to leave, is when I said to her, I said, we were 24 guys to start. Why me? Why did you choose me? And then she said the wrong answer. You remind me my husband. I don't want to remind you anybody. I want you to look at me as me. I would have preferred her to say, I love your personality. I love you. You're charming. I love the guys like you. I love your sense of humor. I love your lifestyle. I think to me that would have been a little bit more appealing. And I think I felt during the journey was not over. And I think I felt like me not being a widow, it's hard for me to relate to the lost, but I think she should have focused on me and on us versus bringing the belated husband all the time. And that was, to me, that was the time where I said, Pascal, we need to go out. We need to leave.
Do you think if your date that day had been, instead of the ceremony, you had gone swimming with sharks or out on a boat, and she had given you a different answer to that question, do you think those two pieces would have maybe made you stay another week?
Definitely. I think if she would have taken me to somewhere fun and having a good time and being kids again, and I love sports car. I race them. I love diving, which I'm dove with a shark before. So that's the time where I enjoy and shoulder them. That's the life I like. Okay, that's number one. Number two is the answer she gave me at the table about remind me during the journey. So to me, you're there to meet somebody. The past is the past. There is nothing you can change about the past. But don't bring the past all the time and compare, because there was a comparison there all the time. And I'm not here to replace him. I'm here for her to see me for who I am and what I have to offer. And I think those two times would have changed. I think I would have go to the fantasy suite. I think we'll have a conversation and see where this is leading.
I was going to ask you, do you think if the process, if you had more time with Joan, even leading up to that, to the moment before you guys broke up, if you had a decent amount of more time with Joan, do you think you could have fell in love with her? Or do you think she just wasn't your person?
When you're talking love, okay, and I've said that in the past, it takes time to fall in love with someone, okay? It takes time. It takes days to get to know each other. It takes communication. It takes argument to see how we argue, how we make up, agree to disagree about subject, having the same interest. So would I felt the connection? Yes. To move to love, it's time. I just think then said to someone I met for 24 hours in 6 weeks that I'm in love with you. It's not really realistic,
Do you think if it was a different person, you would ever be able to fall in love and propose at the end of this journey if you were to do it again? Or do you just think it's not the right fit in terms of timeline?
I speak frankly with you. I think, when you take my daughter, my 32 years old daughter, or my 25 years old son, and then you put him into the bachelor or the bachelorette, okay? And they both go into the journey. And my son is in Chicago, and he meets he fell in love with the girl who lives in California. The two of them are in transition into their life, okay? They are looking for identity. They are looking for a job. They're not secure. They don't own anything. They don't rent. They're still renting. They're looking for jobs. So it's easy to say, hey, honey, why don't you move to Chicago, or why don't you move to California? And the two of us could blend our penny together and build a life together. But when you reach guys of our age who are implanted, our roots are deep down the ground, okay?
Yeah.
And you have my business, I have my connection, I have my Tiller subscription, I have my friend, this Chicago is my life, okay? For me to pack my stuff and move to Maryland or move to Wichita, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And the other question is, are you financially secure to be able to pop in a plane and go see somebody every other weekend, or fly that person over the weekend? I mean, I have the means for that, so it's no problem. But eventually, if John was very interested, if I was the Golden Bachelor, and I meet a woman which I went on a one-on-one date, and I really enjoy the connection, I will take her again on a one-on-one date, because I think she wastes time with people who had no future with her. Okay, she went on 7 dates, and 2 of them were a fiasco, basically. I mean, so to me, why don't you focus on the guy you want, and then give them more attention and get to know better? That's what I will have done. But again, I'm not the show.
So seeing Joan and Chuck together, how do you feel about them? It looks like they're really happy. How do you feel about them being together now?
I'm very happy for them. I just think that the Chuck was very much into Joan from the day first. He had the first one-on-one date. He's a great guy. I wish him and Joan many years of happiness, and I think they make a very nice couple. And I wish them the very best, and I wish them a lot of success in their future.
After watching your journey back in your kids seeing everything, what did they think about Pascal on the show?
For my son, I'm his hero. My daughter thinks you've done a great job. I said, Dad, you're funny, you witty, you went there and had a great time, and the response of my family and my friend and the social media has been extremely positive, extremely positive. I am so grateful to have experienced that and be part of that journey with John and all the guys. Was just incredible for me.
So then what is next for Pascal? Are you dating? Are you focusing on your business? What is life like now that the show's over?
Are you hanging out at the bar at Gibson's Italia? What are you doing?
No.
He's a pullover guy.
I am not dating anyone. I'm just taking a break. I just want to be focused on me. And I'm just, do a lot I have a hobby, which is photography. I do a lot of photography. So I belong to a club. So I got a bunch of guys. We go. I'm not looking for a relationship right now. I just want to take a break. I'm focused on my business. I don't really hang in bars to pick up girls. That's not my thing. My kids are very proud of me, and they said, Dad, you handle yourself very well. My staff keep telling me that I should be the next Golden Bachelor. I said, well, you know what, this isn't this. We got time for that. Let's just focus on the success. I've always said, and I got my 15 minutes of fame, and I'm gonna fade away like we all do, and then that's the way life goes.
Okay, so when you are ready to start dating again or settle down, what are you looking for in a woman?
What's your type?
My type is a woman who has elegance about herself, a woman who I could, take everywhere and be proud of, someone who has a sense of passion, someone who has a life on her own, who doesn't depend on me to survive. And I'm not, I know that he has been a comment that I'm not dating a 72 years old, but I'm not dating a 50 years old either. Okay. I want to set that the record straight. I mean, the women I go out with are in the mid 50s to early 60s. Okay. And that's the type of woman I like, a woman who's been through a full life, a woman who has been a mother. So she understands what it is to give and take. A woman who has a sense of passion, a woman who enjoys food, a woman who likes to travel, who's adventurous, a woman who likes to work out, to get physically fit, if it's yoga, Pilates, or whatever. I think a woman who enjoys art, which I like to go to a lot of art galleries and expositions, and a woman who likes to have fun, a woman who's just secure, and a woman who doesn't drink too much. I think the drinking has always been a problem,
All right, Pascal, last question I want to ask you before we let you go. People have seen so much of you now on the show, but what's one thing you wish they would have learned about you that they may not have been able to during your time on The Golden Bachelorette?
Well, I think my representation of the show, after I've seen every episode, I like the way I was projected from the network. I have no complaint. I think they showed me my sense of humor. They showed me my sense of passion. They showed me my heart. I think I was open about my feeling. I think I'm a giver. I'm the kind of guy who like to give because I feel like I'm fortunate and I'm involved in a lot of charity. I like to help people. I think it's important for me. Then, I'm blessed and grateful to have done well with my life. And I feel like it's time for me to start giving away a little bit and not only my time, but my money. And I just want people to look at me as the fun guy, the guy who's got fun, the guy who you could talk to, and that's basically it,
I love that. Well, Pascal, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day and coming to talk to us. We really appreciate it, and it was lovely meeting you.
Thank you very much. A pleasure meeting you. When you come in Chicago, just give me a call, okay? We're going to go out for dinner. Okay?
We will.
I will.
Sure.
And
nice to meet you.
To all our listeners, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Bachelor Happy Hour. We'll have exclusive interviews for you every week.
Thank you very much. A pleasure meeting you. When you come in Chicago, just give me a call, okay? We're going to go out for dinner. Okay?
We will.
I will.
Sure.
And
nice to meet you.
To all our listeners, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Bachelor Happy Hour. We'll have exclusive interviews for you every week. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for listening. Bye.